He said the most successful artist in K-pop history.
Ultra deep voice, which turned out to become one of his greatest assets in the future because of the dude's
unique assets.
Co-produces his own songs.
He does everything. He does everything.
That plays guitar.
What can he not do?
Drum.
So we'll finish, the
Story episodes from CashualChuck
and on to the next one. You guys wanted this. Before we start, check this out.
We got a lot of exclusive SB19 videos that's copyrighted, so we can't really upload it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So we've decided to put it on Patreon. So if you want to support us there on our journey on getting to know SB19, check us out there.
Yeah. We got stuff like 𝗙𝗶𝗿𝗀𝗏, Stell,
Room,
All By Myself. We got Room. We got Josh Sumaya.
We got a lot of stuff,
and it's free to join. So hit that link in the description button and go for free.
Shout out to CashualChuck for keep making these videos for us.
Yeah.
It's definitely easier for us to understand SB19. So shout out to this CashualChuck.
What he does for the SB19 community is crazy. So shout out to him.
Yeah, for sure.
But let's check this one out.
Ken first. Let's go.
Okay.
On a deeper level.
Okay.
Come on, Google.
Okay. Uy, the shade.
Sino ang makakalimutan? Hindi mong patapos na, nagkamali pa siya. Bakit naman Ken? Bakit si Ken? Bakit si Ken?
Please stop it.
What? Okay.
Ken is, in my opinion, the most successful idol in P-pop history.
Is he?
Most fans see him as someone who's living the life most of us can only dream of. But in reality, there's a lot more going on behind all the glitz and glamour. So in today's video, we will reveal the challenges he had to go through just to get where he is today. From being a scrawny kid who only ate instant noodles on his birthdays, to becoming the CEO of his own company. I know, Ken's story is like a definition of rags to riches. And the haters are not having it. He quickly became one of the most polarizing figures in the P-pop industry. But before we talk about all that, let's talk about his humble beginnings because it's straight up inspiring.
Chuck with the editing.
Tick, tick, tick. He said the most successful artist in K-pop history. Is that true? He definitely has.
It all started in Pagadian, Zamboanga del Sur. This is the countryside where Felip Johnson was raised. His mom wanted to name him Kenji, but his grandpa Felipe insisted to name him Felip. He was the youngest member of a family that barely had anything.
I love the name.
They were very poor that instead of a cake on his birthday, all he gets is a plate of instant noodles. Life was so hard that having fried chicken was heaven for him. So it quickly became his all-time favorite. Because of this, both of his parents had to go overseas to find better paying jobs to support the education of Ken and his older sister.
So he
had to be taken under the care of his grandparents.
Yeah, he lived with his grandparents.
He then grew up in a church and his grandpa was the pastor. He was just a scrawny kid who likes mathematics and discovered drawing as his first talent. So he went on to become an editorial cartoonist in school. Friendship gatherings in the Philippines always require a karaoke machine. And Ken's extended family wasn't a stranger to that. He used to hide during these occasions because he was always asked to sing. I was told by some sources that Ken had a very good singing voice as a kid but lost his confidence when puberty hit because it gave him an ultra deep voice which turned out to become one of his greatest assets in the future because of the dude's
unique
album.
assets.
I never thought na may mga tao talaga makapag-appreciate ng voice ko. Kasi hindi ako ganoon ka-confident sa voice ko. Kasi yung range ko
mababa lang,
tapos malalim.
Special voices.
Ngayon, parang naging na-appreciate ko na yung voice.
That's the first thing I noticed about SB19 was that
in Gento, right?
Yeah, that voice.
Anyway, his newfound love for music got him to learn his first musical instrument without anyone teaching him. So he ended up becoming a southpaw guitarist, but later fixed it as he learned more. He was also active in sports, representing his school in regional tournaments. He played some table tennis and 𝗙𝗶𝗺𝗏𝗏 as a spiker.
Oh,
For those who
wow.
don't know,
Really?
this position requires exceptional skills to perform explosive jumps to block and spike the ball.
Oh, is that why he can...
The teacher saw this as a potential that can translate into good dancing, so he was offered to join the dance club for better grades. He was hesitant at first, but when he tried, you all know what happened next. Watching his early clips feels like he was born to dance. He was even hired by his school to choreograph some dance routines. He then moved to 𝗙𝗵𝗰𝗁 to study architecture in college. He became a member of the dance crews called 𝗙𝗲𝗰𝗁𝗁, 𝗔𝗂𝗵𝗱𝗲𝗏, and 𝗪𝗵𝗀7. These last two crews were so good. In fact, Ken had a crewmate named Joshua who went on to become a member of a successful international idol group in the future called 𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗁.
Oh,
They were beating everybody in the countryside,
really?
so there was no point in competing there anymore.
They're pretty big.
It was time
They're very big.
for
Is he
the big
Filipino?
leagues. They got invited to join major K-pop dance competitions.
Wheels on
This
this.
was the first time when Ken met other SB19 would-be members.
So-
Not as brothers, but as enemies.
Hey.
In one particular contest, Josh and Stel's crew defeated Ken's because they already had a GOAT status in the industry at the time.
Oh,
Ken accepted defeat gracefully and even asked to be trained by Josh, which actually surprised him because he thought Ken was a show-off.
Kinausap niya po ako eh. Sabi niya sa akin, Idol Josh, gano'n po tawag niya sa akin, Idol Josh. Pasali naman ako sa ano nyo, patraining naman ako sa grupo nyo. Kahit sa gilid lang ako.
But because
Hey,
of
even just to
distance,
watch.
the
Come on,
training
what's the interview
together
called? I wanna watch
never
that one.
happened.
comment below.
Ken then went home to continue his studies. Fast forward to 2017, he received a message from Josh. It was an invite to audition for the 5th member spot of SB19. But there's one problem. Ken had no money, so Josh was like, no problem, I'll take care of it. Ken then told his grandma about stopping school to pursue it, and she was very hesitant because she thought it was a scam, and his parents overseas would have automatically said no. But Ken was so close to his
didn't even
grandma
ask
that
his
he
parents.
managed to convince her to go in secret.
Wow.
So our country boy took off to pursue his dreams.
Because of Josh.
He had
That's
nothing with
crazy.
him except his phone, his clothes, and a 1,500 peso pocket money. This time when he arrived at the airport, there was no crew. It was all him. So imagine how that must have felt. Anyway, he took a taxi to SBT talent camp, and of course, the driver scammed him. He had to pay 600 pesos for a supposedly
He's got no money.
150 peso trip.
How does he know this?
What a ripoff.
What?
Anyway,
How did he know
finally
this?
met Josh and the boys and started training with them for a year while crashing into a distant relative's house to rest up.
Oh,
He
chicken
slept on
farm.
the floor, not with a comforter, but a banig.
Damn.
Because if he
That's
did,
actually really
he would
comfortable.
be homeless.
Damn.
It actually looks
Ken
very
had no
comfortable.
salary,
Yeah, I don't
but
mind
he
it.
was still
Actually, I don't
trained,
mind
so
it.
he
good for the
moonlighted
back.
as a small-time model to survive, which is an experience that would play a big role in his future. The dude was literally fighting for his dreams every single day. So here comes 2018, when they finally debuted, and though it was a rocky start, they gradually progressed to become the greatest P-pop group God has ever created.
That's a
If you
big
want to know more
statement.
about their
That's a
stories,
big statement.
check out the SB19 story series I made.
100%,
Link down
we
in
did.
the
Oh,
description.
we've checked
It's so
it.
You
good.
can also join the highest tier of our channel's membership if you're interested to be credited as one of the executive producers. So how
Wow.
did Ken become the most polarizing P-pop idol? Like, how is he either obsessively
Wishbus.
loved by fans or obsessively hated by bashers? Well, he has this persona of a badass dude who doesn't give a shit.
That's good.
And if you combine that with one of the many accusations thrown at him, then they got themselves a new P-pop villain in the making. But there's one thing in common between all those
Gotta have
issues.
haters.
They lack evidence. There are a few exceptions though, but you can't say a person is arrogant just because he looks cool and badass. The dude is even a softie. He tends to cry in interviews and emotional moments.
Really?
His awkwardness as a kid is still there, and this TikTok clip says it all.
Me and you and me, just us and your friend Steve. Do 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 Steve. Do 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 Steve. Do 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 Steve. Do 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 Steve. Do 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 do
Oh, this- that's real, though.
It's
like what we would do.
Hey.
No, that's pretty
Also,
weird.
you can't just call a person lazy just because you've seen a few clips of him sleeping. I mean, isn't it a result of him working too hard? Being an idol and running your own clothing company at the same time is no joke. The dude only used to draw this aspiration, but now he made it happen.
What?
He managed to build a company
What?
that sold out merch in just minutes. It's
What?
No
insane.
way.
It's even rumored that his company is now worth more than $1 million. Whether it's true or not, it put an even bigger target on his back. And haters started coming up with even more ridiculous claims.
Why?
Like accusing him of copying 2 K-pop music videos just because they have a similar vibe. This was easily debunked though. If you want to check it out, I made a video about it. Link down in the description.
I'll watch it later.
His main dancer position got also heavily criticized because of one single clip of him messing up on live TV. It was unfair in my opinion because Ken has always been consistent in his dance performances, yet the haters suddenly forgot about how good he really is.
It's okay.
Ken never fired back. Or did he?
What song is this?
So why does the poultry still exist and are still growing in numbers after all the bashing? Well, it's because he doesn't only have the alluring personality, but he also has the capability to back it up. Scratch that. Capabilities. What's crazy about Ken is that he has already shown us enough talent, like his exceptional dancing and singing, that is enough to fulfill a main vocal role.
Saan darating mga salita na nanggagaling sa aming dalawa? Kung lumisan ka, wag naman sana ika'y kumapit na, hindi magkawala. Aking sinta,
Yeah, he still has a lot of secrets. I'm telling you, man, this guy is a living anime character.
That's why he's special, like, he's different.
Have you heard of an idol who is also a CEO? A dancer who is known for his aerial flips but never tells us that he can also breakdance.
Oh, he's a breakdancer.
I don't know he could win it.
A singer who writes and co-produces his own songs.
He does everything. He does everything.
A musician that plays guitar,
what can he not do?
Drums, and can even beatbox.
Come on.
A fashion influencer. A man who plays sports like basketball,
nice.
billiards, volleyball, badminton, table tennis, boxing, and 𝗙𝗵𝗁𝗏 with decent proficiency.
Was that
a skater boy, an artist,
skater boy,
a philanthropist, and most especially, a man of faith. I initially thought that the Superior Sound brand was all about him, but I was quickly proven wrong when I found this Bible verse underneath his Bulan CD. Hebrews 1:5-14.
Wow.
The entire passage is lengthy, but it boils down to Christ being the superior of all beings. I mean, all of us have different religions. Some don't even have one. But I just respect people like him who stand firm behind their beliefs. As of today, Ken has established himself as an arguably the most successful P-pop idol and the richest among his co-members.
The richest?
And it's just the beginning. They're still on their way to introducing Filipino music to the world through the US as of the making of this video. And his group SB19 is the first one to ever do it. So what have we learned about Ken's story? For me, it was his persistence and willingness to take risks. Have you ever noticed that sometimes it's your loved ones that said no to your aspirations? Because, they care about you. They don't want you to fail and all that. Do you know how many people have had visions, ideas, and huge career moves that they were about to do, but they allowed the word no to stop them? For all I know, you might be one of those people. The difference with Ken is that he never gave the power to the word no. It was his own grandma who tried to stop him, but he continued. Yes, haters exist, but he didn't reject his own ideas just because they rejected his ideas. Haters hate because they feel small when your ideas start turning into reality. He once said in an interview that success is the best revenge, so he stopped killing them with kindness. To this day, Ken has been torturing them with success.
A lot of success.
In red. Success in red.
Beautiful. Beautiful. CashualChuck does it again. He does it again.
Go support him. Go donate. So that was Nobody No Understands about Ken. And what a story, man. The fact that he had no one believing in him, not even his grandma. But he still flew to, you know, the capital.
And now he's like considered the most successful P-pop idol of all time, I think. And he makes the most in SB19.
It's nuts. And he literally is God gifted with every talent.
Yeah.
Unimaginable.
Name something, he can probably do it.
Yeah.
Or he can learn to do it in a week.
Basketball, trash can ball, hockey, anything.
Yeah, anything.
Like Anthony Edwards, you know.
Also, I remember when I first saw him in Gento, he had a different vibe. And not only from his voice, but also his look. So I knew there was something special about him straight away.
Yeah. He was the first guy I noticed in SB19, actually. Yeah. I was like, this guy is, I don't know what it is, but he's a superstar.
There's something about him, something about Ken.
Yeah. A lot of stuff happening on Patreon. You want to check that out. We got a lot of MVs and copywriter stuff there. So it's free to join, so hit the link in the description and check that out.
Support us there. Also follow us on social media down here, and we'll be checking out the What Nobody Understands About series next week. Who shall we do? Comment below.